All right. So now what I want to talk to you about are some of the decisions that we've made organically and some of the things that I think are really, really important as to how we've grown our company. Things that seem kind of obvious, but aren't necessarily so. I think personally, I'm a really tough critic on myself. I always think to myself, how I should be better and oh, he's doing this and he's doing this. Really, my ideas are really good. I'm actually pretty smart. I really am. So I'm going to tell you some of the basic things that we've done, which I think are incredibly important. And I think hopefully it'll trigger you to think that you don't have to make these decisions based on degrees or masters or books, but more about the ethics that you hold inside of you. So when we first started franchising, we had about 2,000 leads, 2,000 people that wanted to franchise with us. We really didn't know what franchising was. We didn't certainly know how to achieve it or what to do. So what was really important to us was making sure that we actually did it well. Our goal was to create a family environment. Our goal was to make an environment where people wanted to work and you wanted to answer your phone when the person called. So I'm sure you know what I mean when you get a phone call and you look at your phone and you go, oh God, this person. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Our goal when we work with people is when they call us to be like, oh, what's up? Hey, oh, something bad happened? Oh, something good happened? Cool, I'm on it together. We're on it together. So when we started franchising, that was our goal. I know it sounds probably crazy, and most people in business said that we couldn't achieve that. We couldn't achieve a family environment in our business because that's not what business is. Business is cutthroat and tough and money and this and that. Well, we would have received $38,500 for every franchise sold. That's the franchise fee that we take. So right off the bat, we take a fee, plus an ongoing royalty, but the fee is gone. So we could have done that 2,000 times, but we chose to only do it 10 times. And the reason why we did that is because we wanted to grow methodically, we wanted to grow ethically, and we wanted to figure out what the hell we were doing with good people that we liked, as opposed to just kind of taking the money and figuring it out later, which a lot of people are prone to do. Money is definitely important in life. Money is important for happiness, success, all that good stuff, but it isn't the end-all be-all. It often dooms young companies because they make decisions solely based around money. We talked about lobster earlier and the value of lobster and how we always bought the most expensive lobster. Well, if we bought cheaper lobster, we would have made more money for the short term, not the long term. In this instance with franchising, we're saying we're going to make less money now and hopefully more long term. Most people don't think like that. And we really want to grow with people that we liked and we loved, that we would call family. We call it a Cousins Maine Lobster family, CML family. Family first is our motto. How do you achieve that? You achieve it from being genuine, from coming from a good place and an actual real place, not some thing that you just want to put on your business card or your website. This is a family business. When someone calls me, not always, but the majority of the time I want to take that call and I want to go, hey, what's up? I want to call them and I want to talk about their kids or their life or their successes or whatever it may be, just like I would want to call my buddy that I went to high school with. And it reminds me of the relationship that we have with Barbara, because Barbara will call and maybe ask about business, most of the time not. She'll ask about my son, I'll send her some photos, she'll text message this because she thought of me, doing this or that. That's what family is. And that's kind of the business that that's what we've set up and why we've become so successful, I firmly believe, is because we have good people that represent us. One of our mottos is, or my personal thing when I teach people, is I teach them, I said, treat everyone as if they were your mother. Treat everyone as if they were your mother. So, I'll give you a real life example. If my mom came to our food truck and and she waited in line, she would know exactly what she was going to order. She'd wait, and the minute she got to the front of the line, guess what would happen? She'd forget it all. She'd draw a blank. There's an iPad out front for her to type on. My mom doesn't know how to use an iPad. She'd forget it. It's not happening. She'd probably ask a lot of questions, to be honest with you. She'd ask if this is better or if that's better because it's expensive. Our food costs money, and she doesn't have a lot of it laying around. So she'd say, well, should I do this? I don't know. Should I try that? God forbid the person was rude to my mom. It would break my heart. My mom's 77 years old. Please be kind to my mother. And I think about when I go out to bars and I go to order some drinks and I'm kind of trying to flag down the bartender, and that person's kind of like looking me off. So. Oh yeah, 2 shots of tequila and 2 beers, $60. Oh. Like, that mentality is crazy to me. Like, they're doing me a favor by giving me the beers that I ordered when I'm paying. Whatever happened to just being nice and saying thank you? So we go back to my mom, that 77-year-old woman who waited in the line, who asked a couple of questions, or who doesn't know how to enter the chip reader, or whatever that may be. I would pray that the person in the window would be kind to them. I'd pray that they'd be nice to them. Nice to my mom. And I think that my mom's experience is going to go one way or the other depending on how that person is. So the food could be great, but if the person's rude, it's a complete fail in my opinion. So we say this when we say, treat everyone like you treat your mother. And it's not about just the food business. It's about life in general, but in any business, entrepreneurial space, if you're a good person and you're ethical, you're going to thrive. You're going to do better. Karma is real. It will come back to you. And that's the type of thing that we preach to people who work with us, and people who are going to join our business, and people who are going to represent us. I cannot tell you how many people we've turned down, because they've come in and only asked money-centric questions. One of our first potential franchisees was from Miami, South Beach. And I'm not going to name the company, but it was a very, very popular company. And they were the CEO, bigwig. And the person didn't know the answers to any questions that we asked them. They just kept shrugging them off and said, I'll figure some guy to get that. I have a guy that'll do that. I have a guy to do that. And all they did was ask about money. And Jimmy and I had no experience in really vetting franchisees at the time, because this was one of those initial 2,000 that came in. But like, our guts just kept turning up, and like we wanted to open and we wanted to grow, and Miami and South Beach seemed really cool, but something seemed wrong. So we inevitably said no, and the person couldn't believe it, because the person, you could tell, had always gotten by on money and just, that kind of aggressive nature. And for a long time, I personally wasn't sure if we made the right decision, because, hey, it's a great market. And we weren't able to find a person to open in South Beach. So I kind of was unsure if we did the right thing. But over the course of time, not only did I realize that what we did was right, I am devoting all of our efforts towards making decisions like that. And since, and irony, we have now 2 operators there who are fantastic, who are good people, who I like, who are willing to take criticism and actually listen, as opposed to just going, well, I'll figure it out. Those are the type of people that don't care about customer service. Those are the type of people that don't care about people. There's a lot of people in this world that don't care about people. I try to stay as far away from those people as possible. And I think inevitably it always shines through your good nature. So when we've grown Cousins Made Lobster, the way we've grown it, things like this, what I'm telling you guys, it's not really that enlightening, right? You're probably not going, wow, I've seen the light. Poof, I didn't solve the Da Vinci Code here. What I'm telling you is these are little things that we have figured out along the way, which has helped us grow and identify as a company. These are little tools and nuggets that have helped us. So you have to find your own. Maybe you can take a little from us and a little from her and a little from this book you read, but you have to find your own thing and follow your own heart. March to the beat of your own drum. That's real. Those things are real. You need a good product to go along with it. And the product could be yourself or a lobster roll, but you need to have something spectacular, something that differentiates you. You need to be willing to do the work. You need to be willing to get punched and punched and punched and go, okay, I'm fine, I'll take more. Insecurity, instability, anxiety, depression, throw those into the mix. But the result is something that you own and that you've curated and that you've created. I'm a new father. I have a 2-year-old son. And I'm like, whoa, what the heck's, whoa, what is this parenting thing of? This is crazy. This is hard. There's so much to learn. He's 2, he's wild, man. He's jumping off the tables and this and that. And it's like, what a rewarding experience. Especially as a person like myself who didn't grow up with a father, to be a dad now, it's so rewarding. I learned so much, but what's the cost? It's exhausting. It's crazy hard work. But is it worth it? 10 million times over. The reward is so great. Same kind of concept with your business. Same concept with your entrepreneurial journey and your spirit. It's hard, man. It's scary. It sucks at times. But the reward is so cool. And it's so exciting. So for Jimmy and I, and the whole team at Cousins Maine Lobster, and everyone that works with us, they're all a part of that ride. We like to share with our successes, share our joys, share all of the fun with them, and all of the setbacks, because it's just like life, it's going to come. But for you, if you're looking to actually try something new and actually venture out, my firm advice, I could never be more, say this strongly enough, is to be fearless. And we talked about it earlier, but it is like, do not be scared of the unknown. Do not be scared of the what ifs or all of the things that people tell you that you should be scared of. You should be mindful of them. You should be cautious. You should take them maybe into consideration, but you shouldn't let them define you. I'm very confident if you actually looked at anyone that you deem successful, and that's up to you to determine what is or isn't, or who is or isn't successful, you would see that they were fearless. Whether they bought a bunch of real estate at what time, at some time when the market was, in chaos, or stocks, or whether they opened a smoothie store that ended up becoming Jamba Juice. I don't know. Someone had an idea that really didn't sound all that good at the time. Maybe they were like, I'm gonna play this new type of music called rock and roll, or rap. What? Or some fast casual food called In-N-Out Burger. Someone had to come up with that idea. Someone had to do the work. And I bet when they started and they told someone what that idea was, it didn't really sound that good. They probably had no idea about their idea. They probably hadn't vetted it or thought it through. I know we didn't. It takes years, decades to really understand a lot of that. But the foundation is you. You are the foundation. You're the starting point. You're the person that really kind of gets the ball rolling and gets it moving. And your whole life you've been preparing for it. You just don't necessarily know it. So I look back on my childhood, and I look back, one time I mentioned earlier, I went and bought a bunch of sodas, and I'm there on the beach selling sodas. And it didn't really work, and I hated it. But it's just a part of my own journey. I didn't like washing dishes either, but I did it. I would come home and my shirts would smell like the clam bake. My mom wouldn't even let me in the car. I had to walk home. True story. Because the smell was like fried food, But it made me who I am. It made me appreciate hard work. It made me appreciate the people in the kitchens that are doing that hard work just to provide for their families. So when I go places, I'm mindful of that. I'm mindful that it takes a lot of people to pull something off. Our company is no different than anyone else's. We are certainly no different than anyone else. we just refuse to be outworked. We refuse to fail. We listen to people. We listen to people's advice. We ask a lot of questions. We're kind. And we have a great product. That's it. That's really it. So my advice to everyone watching is follow your heart, work hard. Shark Tank is cool and TV shows are great and PR is PR and all that cool stuff. The truth is, everyone has the same opportunity. They just have to believe in themselves. And if you do that, you will be successful. I'm very, very confident of that. So now I'm going to turn it over to my cousin Jim. I have to warn you though, he's very boring. He's not really that smart. He has a terrible haircut, as you clearly saw. He's not a good dresser. He's not a good cook. His wife is very pretty. I think that's about it. Thanks, guys.